Stop me if you've heard this before. America is the richest, most powerful country in history. Yeah, boring. But here's what nobody tells you. For over 100 years after it was discovered, almost every European power looked at North America and said, meh, useless. They wanted gold, spices, slaves. North America had none of that. So they ignored it. And that one decision, thinking a continent was worthless, ended up creating the most dominant nation on Earth. By accident. Let me show you how. Let's go back to the year 1000. Vikings, led by Leif Erikson, reach North America. They find trees, berries, and nothing to steal. So they leave. They don't even tell anyone. That's it. End of story for 500 years. Fast forward to 1492. Columbus is obsessed with a shortcut to Asia. He begs the king and queen of Spain for years. Finally, they give him 3 tiny ships. He sails west for 2 months. His crew is ready to throw him overboard. Then, land. But it's not Asia. It's some random Caribbean island. Columbus doesn't know that. He thinks he's near India, so he calls the natives Indians. The king and queen ask, "Where are the spices?" Columbus panics. He has 0 spices. But he has gold trinkets, so he lies. "No spices yet, your majesties, but they have so much gold." The king and queen's eyes turn into dollar signs. Go back, convert them, bring the gold. And that lie changes everything. But here's where the real accident happens. Meanwhile, Portugal finds a real route to Asia, around Africa. They bring back pepper, cinnamon, silk. Spain is jealous. So the Pope draws a line down the middle of the world map. Everything east goes to Portugal, everything west to Spain. Just like that, half a planet given away. Spain conquers Mexico and Peru. They find so much gold and silver that they literally melt it into bars and ship it back by the ton. But North America? Too far north. No gold, no silver. Just forests and angry locals. So Spain sends one expedition in 1539. They find nothing. Their report says, "This land is useless. Don't bother." And for the next 50 years, everyone listens. But one European country didn't listen, and they almost destroyed everything. England watches from the sidelines. In 1497, 16 years before Spain even finds Florida, England sends John Cabot. He reaches Newfoundland. Then, nothing. England waits almost 100 years. First colony, Roanoke, 1585. England fights a war with Spain. When they come back, everyone is gone. The only clue, the word Croatoan carved into a tree. To this day, nobody knows what happened. That's a mystery for another video. Second try, Jamestown, 1607. Most settlers die from starvation and disease, but they discover one thing that saves them: tobacco. Suddenly, everyone wants land in America. Then the Pilgrims show up in 1620. They're religious extremists. They ban gambling, dancing, even Christmas. But they bring families, not just fortune hunters. And that changes everything. Within a few generations, the East Coast is packed with British colonies, over 1 million people. Meanwhile, France claims the middle of the continent, the Mississippi, the Great Lakes. But France has only 60,000 settlers. See where this is going? And now, the first big war that accidentally created America. 1754. The French and Indian War begins. France allies with many Native American tribes. Britain also gets tribes on their side. But the numbers are insane. 60,000 French versus over 1 million British. Britain wins. They take Canada and everything east of the Mississippi. But the war costs Britain a massive fortune. So they turn to the colonies and say, "Hey, we protected you. Now pay taxes." The colonists explode. "We didn't ask you to protect us. We fought alongside you. And we don't even have a vote in your parliament." That argument, no taxation without representation, lights a fire. First protests, then boycotts, then the Boston Massacre, then the Boston Tea Party, the one with real tea thrown into the harbor. By 1775, shots are fired at Lexington and Concord. But here's the twist. Even after they won independence, they almost lost everything anyway. July 4th, 1776. They declare independence. But the war isn't won until 1781. George Washington barely holds the army together. Then, victory. Freedom. Finally. But the new government is a disaster. The 13 colonies act like 13 separate countries. They can't pay their debts. They can't raise an army. They're failing fast. So the Founding Fathers write an entirely new constitution. They create a federal government with real power. By 1789, George Washington becomes the first president. The United States is officially a country, but it's tiny, just the East Coast. Everything else belongs to Spain or France. And then, the luckiest real estate deal in history. France, under Napoleon, wants to rebuild an empire in America. He forces Spain to give back the Louisiana Territory. The Americans panic. They need the Mississippi River to ship their goods. President Jefferson sends diplomats to buy just the port of New Orleans. But Napoleon is about to invade Britain. He needs money. He's also afraid that if he doesn't sell, America might ally with Britain against him. So he makes a crazy decision. Sell all of Louisiana. Every acre. The American diplomats are stunned. They agree to pay $15 million. In one stroke, America doubles in size. That's 828,000 square miles for less than 3 cents per acre. The best real estate deal in history, all because Napoleon needed cash for a war. But that wasn't the last time America got lucky. Florida, bought from Spain in 1819 for $5 million. Then Mexico wins independence. Mexico owns Texas, California, the whole Southwest. But those lands are empty. So Mexico invites Americans to settle in Texas. Big mistake. The Americans outnumber Mexicans, rebel, and create the Lone Star Republic. They want to join the U.S., but there's a problem. Texas allows slavery. The North says no. Texas waits 9 years. Then James K. Polk becomes president. He's obsessed with expansion. He lets Texas join in 1845. Mexico is furious. War breaks out. The U.S. invades Mexico, captures Mexico City, and forces Mexico to give up California and the Southwest. The U.S. pays $15 million. Same price as Louisiana for less land, but still a steal. Then, in 1867, Russia sells Alaska to the U.S. for $7.2 million. Americans call it Seward's Folly, a frozen wasteland. Then gold is discovered. Who's laughing now? But inside, America is about to tear itself apart. The North hates slavery. The South's economy depends on it. They argue for decades. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln is elected. The South secedes. Civil war breaks out. 600,000 Americans die, more than any other war. The North wins. Slavery ends. The country stays together, but the scars last for generations. American businessmen overthrow the Hawaiian Queen. They ask to annex Hawaii. The first president says no, because he believes in justice. But the next president, McKinley, says yes, because he fears Germany or Japan will take Hawaii first. Hawaii becomes a U.S. territory in 1898. Same year, the U.S. fights Spain over Cuba. The war lasts only 3 months. The U.S. takes Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. The Spanish Empire, the one Columbus started, is over. McKinley is assassinated. Teddy Roosevelt takes over. He builds the second largest navy in the world. He helps Panama break free from Colombia, then builds the Panama Canal. The canal opens in 1914, just as World War I begins. America can now move its navy between 2 oceans instantly. And all of this started Because Columbus lied to his king about gold.